afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Back from the Grid podcast. As I pop my knuckles there, I am one of your hosts, Cody, and I'm joined today by...
Matthew.
Hello, Matthew. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulously.
Great. That's not a word, but okay.
It is now.
It is now. All right.
I just invented it.
Yes. So, Matthew, we're doing a podcast, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing it finally. Again.
Finally. How long have we been planning this now? 2 weeks?
I lost track.
Yeah, we've been trying to put this together for a little bit.
And now we did it.
Yes.
Excited. Get the champagne bottle. Get it going.
I've got Gatorade.
Oh, well, that isn't going to work.
Well, it's close enough.
No.
Yeah, it's close.
No.
Anyway, so hello, listeners. If there is anyone, in fact, listening, we're going to put this in places.
And maybe someone will find it.
Maybe. But let's introduce ourselves. So I'm Cody. Both me and Matthew are college students. We're on the tail end of it anyway, about to get our official degrees.
Woo!
For that media stuff. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, and we both decided that even though we're working ourselves to death and still have to take college classes, that it's a good idea to do a weekly podcast.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
You're going to die a little on the inside.
Yeah, probably. I'm already dead on the inside.
But are we talking about the viewers or ourselves?
I don't know.
Only one way to find out.
So why are you doing this podcast, Matthew?
Because I'm honest to God, this is better than just laying in bed all day.
All
and
right.
dying.
That's some great motivation right there.
Yeah.
So real quick, what we're going to be doing in this show today is we're going to be talking about some nostalgic stuff.
Wait. Before we get this nostalgic section started.
No, I'm not moving on. I'm just doing a rundown of what we're doing. See right there, Matthew, where I wrote we talk about upcoming segments in the show. We have like a whole page of what we're going to do.
Oh.
So
yeah?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about some nostalgia. We're going to be doing a gaming news segment yes. So what is this podcast, Matthew? We should probably mention that.
A little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be media related. We're going to today at least, we're going to cover a little bit of gaming, but it's going to cover everything as far as entertainment goes with like technology, like PC games, like console.
Yes.
Not nearly as much as PC. And we're also going to cover TV shows, movies, music possibly.
Yeah. We're going to be doing like stupid geeky stuff, like talking about what superhero is best. That's another thing coming up today. And then to end it off, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 3, which we both watched, but don't worry, the first half of that will be spoiler-free. Oopsie. And then after that, we'll do spoilers and stuff. But we still have a couple things to talk about. So, Matthew, what have you been up to lately? What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber, which is to be expected. That's like my main jam at this point. I've been playing a lot of Halo. I played a little bit on PC. It's pretty good so far from what I've played.
Which Halo?
Which Halo?
Yeah.
Actually, wait, no, it wasn't.
Because there's like a million Halos.
This game is like so much like Halo. Oh, no. It was, let me think of it. There's this one game
is it
that's on PC.
The Portal? Portal shooter game?
Arena Warfare.
Yeah.
That game is like
free.
The bomb. And it's free!
Yes.
Free!
Yes, we will also be doing meme-ish stuff as well.
You may hate us
after
this.
Yes, you were wondering what games I was playing, weren't you, Matthew?
Yeah,
yes, thank you for asking me that. So, lately I have not had much time to play video games, but I was playing a game on mobile, which I finished, which wasn't actually that bad. It was a puzzle platformer game called Total Party Kill, where you have 3 little dudes, and each of them has a specific skill set. One is a ranger, one is a mage, the other one's a knight, and they can do like one action, and you have to strategically figure out how to use all 3 of them in order to reach the end of the level. So that was really fun. I beat it in like 2 days or something, but if you have some spare time and you have a phone, then I would recommend that game. It's pretty fun. But what's Splitgate about? Because I don't think you
Splitgate is basically if
explained
Halo and Portal had a baby, this is what the game would pretty much be like. It's a gameplay that feels very familiar, even with the pistol. The pistol's a huge, when you're playing the game and you're using it,
You all right?
it's like so much like Halo that it's like, oh my god, this is like a sniper, but a pistol. A pistol!
Mm-hmm. We did play a little bit of that together, and it was
Pretty good.
insanity.
Because you can shoot portals in select areas and make
and then
some
shoot
really
through
good.
the portals and
Well, yeah, it's like a Halo,
all
but
sorts of stuff.
now you also have to worry about the fact that anybody could shoot you at any angle.
Any angle whatsoever.
And they can also, there's also like enemies. You can not look through the enemy portal, but you can look through your teammate's portal. So you'll see an enemy go through a portal, then you're like, should I jump through this portal or should I not?
Yeah.
There's a lot of decision making as far as that goes. But another game I've also been playing that's also mobile is Call of Duty Mobile.
Oh dear God.
Don't tell Activision this, but I may or may have not had borrowed it. And by borrowed, I mean I'm pretty much pretending to be in Australia right now, playing the game.
Is it not released in the U.S. or
It's
something?
still not released yet. They keep having betas. They're on the 3rd or 4th beta right now.
Bro.
And they still have not had a United States beta.
Well, that's not borrowing. That's just strategic locating.
I like that term. I like it a lot.
Strategic location.
But dude, oh my god, from the time I've had playing it, like I was up at 2 a.m. last night because they announced the beta's live in Canada and in Australia, and I'm like, so let me get this straight. You'll give Canadians access to the beta, but not Americans.
Yeah, they got to put those
hurts.
microtransactions in there first, you know.
I know, right? It's wonderful.
All right. Let's move on before we start talking too much trash about certain game companies. So I have a game, and Matthew knows this because I bring it up all the time. But I have a game that I've been waiting for a long time, and since this is the first episode, I have to explain the story. So, back way back, I think I don't remember when the first game was released, but there's a game called Mountain Blade, and more recently, the most recent one is Mountain Blade Warband. Well, this game is like an awesome medieval role-playing open world game. It's cool. It's awesome. Cool. You can like build an army and siege castles and stuff, but it's got some issues because it's an older game. So the company that made that decided that they were going to make a sequel. They decided this in 2012.
Still.
It's 2019.
Not
right now.
Out.
So, yes. They put a release date, I think it was like in 2015 or something, and they completely missed that. I think they may have put one more out there and then they missed that one too, or they just went straight to not having any release date whatsoever. And so there's going to be a segment in each of these podcasts where I report the current situation. And the current situation is Mountain Blade Bannerlord is not out yet. Does not appear that it will be out. There is no release date for it yet. So yeah, I'm glad I could update you guys on that. It's a great game. It looks awesome. But at this point, I don't know if it's ever going to be finished.
It's going to be like Half-Life 3. It will never come out.
I'm concerned that is true. At this point, I'm kind of giving up hope. At this
That's
juncture.
when they'll release it though, when you give up hope, so you might as well start giving up hope right now.
That's not good life advice.
It'll come out eventually. Everything will be all right. All you need to do is just give up hope.
Yes, you heard it here first, guys. Give up hope. Anyway, let's move on to the next segment. That was a great segue. So our first segment that we're going to be doing is nostalgia. So, Matthew, you've played a lot of video games, right?
I have.
I imagine you've played a lot of video games. I've seen the amount of video games that you have hoarded in your room. There's many of them. So what would you say, out of all of those games that you've ever played, is your favorite, and why?
Oh, God. You have to drop that on me?
Dropping it on
Seriously? Star Fox 64.
Why is that?
Oh, my God. That
Do a
game...
barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll!
It's actually an aileron roll, thanks.
Gosh dang it, Slippy. Don't get shot!
Thanks, Matt Pat, but why is that your favorite?
It's just... Well, first off, the original on the SNES was an amazing game, and it was one of the first couple of console games that were in 3D. And this was made possible by the fact they actually put hardware into the cartridge. So it allowed basically kind of like boosted the Super Nintendo to make it to where it was possible to render like 3D graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And although they definitely look dated nowadays, that was super impressive back then. Star Fox 64 was basically kind of like a reboot of the franchise, which now if you think at it, the series has had 3 reboots.
Yeah, I do remember the most recent one did not go over well with most people.
Well, that's because the fact they decided to prioritize motion controls over good gameplay and
All right,
controls.
well, we're not talking about the new Star Fox.
But anyway,
we're talking about your favorite Star Fox.
But I digress.
Yes.
The reason why I really like Star Fox 64 is I just like the aesthetic. I like the themes. I love the whole fact that you can play through the game multiple different times, have a really great experience. It's very arcade-ish, with how it's played. There's a lot of places, and there's branching paths, and certain secrets that you can discover through the levels through multiple
Easter eggs and stuff.
Yeah, like there's multiple different warp portals that you can mysteriously or accidentally discover, as I found out a couple of times.
Okay.
And it's super fun to do that because when you go into those warp portals, it looks like you just dropped like a bunch of acid or something.
Okay.
It looks really weird. And these weird alien like ships will do. But I remember as a kid just having really fun moments of it, especially going through the Corneria section of the
what?
The Corneria, which is like the first level.
Okay.
I have such nostalgia for that. Especially when I got older and found out that the fact that you could redo that area,
right,
and then do a second path and fight a completely different boss that was from the original.
Yeah, one of the best things about playing games as a kid and then come back to as an adult is sometimes you can find that there's a huge section of the game that you didn't even know existed until you stopped focusing your little child brain on the one thing you like to do, oh, I get to fly this ship, or oh, I get to go fishing or whatever.
But I tell you what, I'm super upset over the fact, or I was super proud of the fact that
those are two very different things, Matthew.
Well, let me explain. I
right.
was super upset to find out that I'd been playing the game kind of wrong.
Okay.
Because there's actually 2 endings to Star Fox 64.
Oh.
Well, and this is not really spoilers. This game's been out for over a decade
now. Yeah, spoilers for a decade-old game.
But there is the bad ending, where if you go down the good path, you will actually not kill Andros, which is the main antagonist. You'll just kill a robot. So at the very end, after the credits, and you see your score, you'll see you'll start hearing laughter, and you'll see him appear in the sky, and it's oh wow, it was all good until then, and then you realize, oh, he's not dead.
Yeah, I'm surprised that a 64 game would have different endings. I didn't think that was a thing that existed back then.
It had multiple branches, but I could never play the hard sections because and this was back in the day where, you're not handed everything.
Back in the day.
Back in my day. When they said something was hard, they actually weren't kidding.
Yeah. A couple things I've had to deal with my game, Matthew. If you want to
What is that game, huh?
Yeah, all right. Well, okay. So, let me tell you. Let me spin y'all a yarn here. My favorite game of all time is also a Nintendo game.
Can I take a shot?
And it is also, you already know because I've told you. It's a
but
Nintendo 64 game. So let me spin y'all a yarn here. When I was growing up, video games were awesome. But I did not have money when I grew up, neither did my parents. So I never owned a video game. I always went to someone's house to play a video game, or, played them on the computer at school or something like that. So one day I went over to my aunt's house because she was babysitting us. I think I was 6 at this time. It was a long time ago. It's 9, I don't know. I'm not good with ages. But I went over there, and there was the Nintendo 64 laying on the ground. My aunt had an older son who had moved on to the PS2 at this point. And I was looking at this console, just looking it over. It was fascinating to me, and my aunt was like, hey, if you like it, take it. Because I guess no one was using it. It's like, all right, I'll take it. And then suddenly I had a gaming console. But as you said, I played it wrong when I first got it. It had a couple games with it but the one that I really focused on the most was Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Really? I thought
My
it was Pilot
favorite
Wings
game.
64.
Are you effing right now? All right.
Oh god.
So I'll try to keep this brief because we've got other stuff to get to. But the way that I played it was, if you don't know, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is a open world adventure game kind of thing. It's not as open world as today's open worlds, but back then it was open world. You get to choose where you want to go and stuff like that. But the save file that I had from, I guess it was my cousin, yeah, family tree names hard. Something. I got 1 hour sleep, so I'm just trying to truck through this. Anyway, the save file I got started me at this fishing pond because it has a fishing minigame in it. Mm-hmm. So I literally spent like weeks and weeks on end with my crappy, broken Nintendo 64 controller that would literally cut into your hand when you're fighting this fish trying to get it.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
English, yes.
English, please, Matthew.
So literally all I did with that game was play the fishing minigame, and I have such great memories of that. And I think it was a couple years ago, I went back and I was determined I'm going to catch the biggest fish because I had come so close when I was younger, but I lost it. And I caught it, and it was good. And
how accomplished did you feel?
Not very.
Were you like when you finally caught it and you saw that screen? It was like na 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 na. You just like jumped like in the sky, like
I just dropped the controller like a mic. Like, all right, I'm done.
Mic drop.
Time to go play an actually good video game.
Wow! Oh my god!
It's good for its time, but it did not age so well. I'm trying to complete it right now, and I've still got a couple things to do. But anyway, so that's our favorite games of all time with the nostalgia segment. Yeah. What do you think, Matthew? Did you enjoy talking about that stuff?
I enjoyed that. I like the fact that we both talked about a Nintendo 64 game.
Right? Nintendo game and a 64 game. And we've actually, this is a good segue, we've got some stories about Nintendo, don't we? For our, we don't have a music bit for this, but gaming news segment. All right. So, Matthew. I know because we've both sort of vaguely told each other about our stories. You have a Nintendo story, don't you?
I do.
I also have a Nintendo story.
So this is working out. Yeah. I feel like this has just become a Nintendo.
Yeah, this is just a Nintendo podcast.
That will change the next time, people.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so, Matthew, please tell us your story.
I will intrigue you with the best of news stories. So it looks like we are indeed getting a Nintendo Switch refresh. Both with a actual new console and a replacement to the current Nintendo Switch. We'll go ahead and talk about the new Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Mini, which I kind of find it odd with their naming. Yeah. The new Nintendo Switch Mini, which many of you have probably heard a lot over the last couple of days, is going to be a secondary kind of like a 2DS-ish. It's supposed to be a companion to the Nintendo Switch that's currently on the market, but with several different caveats. The biggest thing, which may be an advantage towards Nintendo Switch users that originally bought the first generation Nintendo Switch, is the fact that it has a slightly larger battery life. Coming in at around 3 to 7 hours of battery life, depending on the game.
The mini one does?
Yeah, it's
How
great.
much did the Switch have?
The original Switch had a 2.5 to 6.5 hour battery life.
That's pretty big upgrade.
Which kind of sucks. That was a huge...
So it's smaller, but it lasts longer.
Yeah, it's got a different battery component in it.
Okay.
You have to take that into consideration, though.
Yeah.
It is slightly smaller. I think it's like a 5-point-something inch screen. So it is like about an inch or so smaller.
And you can't do the docking to the TV with
Unfortunately,
the mini.
yes, which is why I'm saying that it's kind of odd the fact that they're calling it a Nintendo Switch, but you can't
switch it.
You can't
switch it.
It's only handheld. It has the Joy-Cons, which I really don't know why they're still called Joy-Cons. Yeah. But the Joy-Cons are fixed into the console, so you can't remove them.
So it's just a gamepad.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a solid. It's like a solid game.
It's like a PSP.
Handheld. Yeah, it's like a PSP. Don't say it like that. It's PSP.
I never had a
but
PSP,
better.
so I apologize for all those PSP owners I just offended.
No kickstand, no HD rumble, and it's only 720p, which that's because of the fact you can't dock it.
Right. And the screen's so small, it won't really make much of a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't matter. But one big caveat to people that have like lower income or somebody who doesn't really want to spend a whole lot of money but still wants to play the great titles on Switch is the fact that it's only $200.
Okay.
So it's $100 less.
Is it as powerful as the Switch?
Yes.
So could I play Skyrim mobile?
Yes.
Okay.
You can still play all the games on it.
Awesome. Here's a question. Can you use your Switch Mini and play games with someone who owns a regular Switch?
Yes. In fact, they showed that in the trailer.
Okay.
Now, moving on to the next thing is the fact that we're also getting a new improved Nintendo Switch, but don't go taking this as like we're getting a hardware refresh.
It's not like a Xbox Pro.
No, it's not. It's just going to have a slightly improved battery. But when I say slightly, I'm joking when I say that. Oh, it's actually going to be...
That was a funny joke, Matthew. Thank you.
It's going to be a 4.5 to 9 hours with the new one, which is almost double.
That's pretty good.
We'll replace the current model in August.
Okay, is it like a totally new system, or is it...
No, it's going to just be like a different serial number.
Okay, so it's just like a different model.
Yeah.
Like a newer phone kind of deal. Okay. Interesting.
And we're also getting new Joy-Cons colors in October.
Ooh. Fancy.
It's going to be
cosmetic items. Nintendo's
even more
microtransactions.
things you can buy. It's going to be just a standard blue and neon yellow combination, which we've already had the neon yellow, but we haven't had just a solid blue before. We've had neon blue, but we haven't had just blue.
Yeah.
So that's going to look cool to go with just the red that they have.
Yeah.
And we also have neon purple and neon orange, which will fit in definitely with the aesthetic.
Pardon my old man noises.
Of that month.
Yeah.
Considering it's also Halloween. They'll be retailing for $79.98. And I actually do have a picture so Cody can take a look and take a gander.
Oh, here we go.
From Kotaku's article, which is where we're pulling this up from. So these are what the colors are.
Who wrote the article, by the way?
It was Heather. Heather
Hello. Alexandra. Yes.
And
good job, Heather. You're doing good journalism.
She's the man. Or the woman.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
So what's this picture? I don't see.
This is it right here. This is what the color combinations look like.
Oh, the new Joy-Cons. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They look so pretty.
I mean, I wouldn't buy either of them, but I hope that someone else might want them. If you have a Switch, this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably
going to buy
them anyway. $79.
The Joy-Cons?
Yeah, they're $40 each. You got to realize they're both individual controllers.
I thought it was just like one of those covers that you have.
No.
Oh, the actual Joy-Con is...
Yeah, it's the whole, like the plastic is...
Can you like trade in your current ones to get a discount or something? That's a lot of money for two little tiny controllers, man.
I mean,
I can get an Xbox controller for like $20 at Walmart.
Yeah, but these have a lot more stuff packed into them.
That's true. They have all that like
individual batteries,
augmented reality
and gyroscope, and like both of them, and one of them has like a IR camera.
I like how the headline here is announces new Joy-Con colors, which look pretty damn nice.
Wow.
For $70, they look pretty damn nice.
$70 controller, everybody. Let's buy that. Anyway. Now that we went ahead and went through that, Cody also has a news story about Nintendo, but I don't think it's going to be as positive.
It is more of a negative story. So,
boy.
I do believe we all know and remember how... What's a good word here that is not too aggressive? So, okay, let me preface this by saying I really like Nintendo. I really, really, really like Nintendo. I like how they do their business practices, like their CEO has taken pay cuts multiple times so that they don't have to fire employees. That's great. They focus on their games to try to make it fun and not nickel and dime you for everything you can get. But,
EA.
But so help me, Nintendo, they just don't understand how to do PR, I guess is how to say it. So like with YouTube, they took I don't know, it was like a couple months ago that they finally decided, like, hey, YouTubers, you're doing stuff for free for us. That's great.
Yeah,
keep doing it, instead of, hey, give us all your money. And then, okay, so the headline for my story, which was published on Polygon and written by Patricia Hernandez. Good job, Patricia. Excellent journalism. The headline reads, Nintendo deletes level from top Mario Maker 2 player for mysterious reasons. It's a kind of a clickbaity headline, but I'll get into it. So the player who got his levels deleted is named Grand Pooh Bear, which I do quite enjoy that name. He's a Twitch streamer, and he's known as an ambassador for new players. He makes tutorial levels and helps introduce new players to advanced strategies. So Grand Pooh Bear has been doing Mario Maker levels for quite some time. He was in Mario Maker doing Mario Maker 1 levels. He's been doing Mario Maker 2 levels, I think, since this probably came out. And then he was doing like ROM hacks and stuff before Mario Maker was even a thing. But so what happened is Nintendo deleted one of the most played super expert levels in the game, which was created by Grand Pooh Bear. He created the level in early July. What?
I would riot.
Yes, exactly. Let's not incite riot in our first podcast.
Raise the pitchforks, raise the torches.
Pitchforks and torches.
Pull out your Twitter feeds, let's rant.
All right. So he created the level in early July, and the level in question was deleted on July 16th. It contained no glitches, exploits, or graphic content. I watched a video of the entire level, a walkthrough of it, multiple people playing it. There was nothing wrong with the level. It was a completely normal level. It wasn't a level I could ever beat because it was like super expert mode, but it was just a regular level, and I guess it was like one of the most popular ones out there. Well, Nintendo deleted it, and the reason they gave for the deletion was that it contained harmful or inappropriate content.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Which after reviewing the level, it did not. So, a little bit of backstory for Grand Pooh Bear is when he was making levels for Mario Maker 1, Nintendo deleted his entire library of levels that he created due to an alleged mistake driven by the automatic mod system. His entire library, which probably took him 200 plus hours to make, give or take, that's a estimate. I don't know exactly how many levels were deleted. They just deleted it. And I guess they were hassling him for him to try to get it back because he believed that it happened because of him having Pooh in the level names. We are adults. So it had Pooh in the level names, and then Nintendo wouldn't even let him change the level names to get the levels back. So I don't actually know. I wasn't able to find if he did, in fact, get the levels back or not. I feel like he did because if he didn't get them back, I wouldn't see why he went to Mario Maker 2 to keep trying. The running theories as to why Nintendo is picking on him is one of them was perhaps a lot of trolls got together and flagged his Mario Maker 2 level.
But you'd think they would monitor that, wouldn't they?
You would hope so, but these days with YouTube algorithm and all that stuff, companies are really just trying to automate the moderation process, which is unfortunate. Which is causes issues like this, but hey, we're talking about it, so there you go.
Yeah.
So that's one theory. Another theory is, of course, that he has Pooh in his name and in the level names, which Nintendo has allegedly denied to Grand Pooh Bear that is the reason. And then another reason, and I think this one is from Grand Pooh Bear himself, is that he thinks that maybe because his wider channel has playthroughs of ROM hacks and randomizers, like, before Mario Maker existed. Well, he thinks possibly it's caused Nintendo to have like a bias against him, but it doesn't really stand up because that's how Mario Maker got started by the people who played those, and they are now leading the charge on the official level creation now that it exists. So at this point, as far as I could find, Nintendo hasn't made a comment on the situation. His levels deleted, and it's just
He's
Nintendo
just up the
being
creek without a paddle at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way.
It's pretty accurate. But the last thing I got here is Grand Pooh Bear was quoted saying, "I feel Nintendo just doesn't want me making levels or even playing their games at this point." And then he referenced the 2016 mass deletion of his Mario Maker 1 levels. So like I said, I really love Nintendo, but they can be very ignorant sometimes.
That's most companies anymore, though.
Yeah,
A lot of them
especially
just
gaming
want you-
companies at this point. But we're a happy podcast here, and we're not a gaming podcast. We are a entertainment podcast.
Yeah.
Speaking of, our next segment
Oh, boy.
is gonna be very entertaining.
Oh boy, I like
So,
where this is going.
Yeah, Matthew, why don't you? I gotta take a drink. Hold on.
Hold on. Holding on.
I was kind of wanting you to talk and say words while I was drinking.
What we're getting ready to do is we're getting ready to do a segment called Versus, where we're going to go ahead and have a hypothetical debate on who would win in a fight.
Well, the debate won't be hypothetical, but So before the show, we had a discussion, and this discussion was about some superheroes.
Uh-oh.
So this is the age-old argument. I won't say argument because we're just going to have a friendly discussion here.
Uh-oh.
If
We'll try
somebody stops talking, don't worry about it. But so the age-old discussion, and before we begin, I will want to say that that we want you all to get involved with this. We're gonna put a poll up on our Twitter account after this podcast goes live that you guys can vote on which one you think. Batman versus Superman.
Batman.
Who would win?
Batman.
Matthew is on the Batman train.
Batman.
I am on the Superman train. So, before we begin, the poll will be posted to our Twitter account where you guys can submit your opinions, and you can also comment on it and stuff and tell us why if you want to.
You vote for
and then
Superman,
next
you're wrong.
week we will talk about it, or maybe a couple weeks down the line whenever we actually have people listening to our podcast. But so, Matthew, Superman and Batman go to battle and face off each other. So Superman, I will explain who Superman is in case people don't know.
He's
is
a
an
pansy.
alien from the planet Krypton, I believe.
Yes.
Krypton, which is, I don't know, for some reason he gets superpowers from our sun. Don't question it.
Well, it's because of the fact that their gravity and their solar system's way different than ours, so
Yeah.
he basically gets...
Yada yada, comic book. He's Superman.
That may
He
be
can stop
important.
bullets with his eyeball because bullet can't penetrate his eyeball flesh or something. He can fly at supersonic speeds. He has laser vision and super strength and all sorts of stuff going up against a rich guy in a leather bondage suit.
It's not leather, I'll let you know. It's got armor, and it depends which day you catch him.
So, who is Batman for people if they would not know?
How do you not know who Batman is? He's
And
like
you're
an
listening to our
icon.
podcast, but just humor me and explain
Icon
who Batman is.
of the century. Anyway, Batman, who is known by his actual name, Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner,
That's
yeah.
the Hulk, buddy.
Bruce Wayne.
There you go.
His,
I mean, the Hulk versus Superman, we might have to do that at some point, but Batman for right now.
He's had both of his parents killed when he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
He has a fear of bats, which is why he's called Batman.
Wait, is he actually afraid of bats?
Yeah, he's afraid of bats, and
he
if you
dresses
ever
like a
watched
bat.
Yeah, that's why he's a bat. He wants his fear to be the fear of others.
Oh, God.
Now
So for those of you who don't know, I'm more of a Marvel person, so I've avoided most DC movies and stuff. But I know
Have you
the
not watched
gist.
the Christopher Nolan Batman movies?
I think I watched a couple, like the one with
They're
the
so
Joker.
good.
What was his name? Heath Ledger. That Joker, he was really good. But anyway, Batman.
Yes.
So
Anyway,
yes, my argument is that Superman, who can fly and has super strength and is invulnerable and has laser vision and gets superpowers from the sun, could fly into space and just laser vision Bruce Banner to death.
yeah, but I feel like you're kind of underrating who Batman is. You also have to realize that not only is he have millions upon millions of dollars, own a company, and like have a crap ton of connection with other superheroes, but we're not going to use that fact.
It's just Superman versus
Batman and Superman.
Batman.
But I feel like you're kind of underselling Batman, because not only does he have access to all of that, but he also has been trained by Ra's al Ghul and by the League of Assassins. He has an extremely high IQ, is very smart,
Yes.
and has a very good sense of like just knowledge over everything.
Okay, but...
And he could pretty much take on...
But you can shoot Superman in the face with a bazooka, and he wouldn't even blink.
But...
He wouldn't even blink.
You know what?
And then he would laser vision you to death.
You know what? You keep saying that Superman, he's pretty much like God tier. But
Pretty
you know
much.
what? You want to know what he does have a weakness to?
He does. Indeed.
Kryptonite.
Yeah.
And guess what?
What?
He has guess who has millions of dollars and can buy a crap ton of it?
Mm-hmm.
Batman.
Okay, but here's where...
Or you could get red kryptonite, and that pretty much just
Here's
really
where we
screws him over.
Here's where we divide on this. So, I will concede that in a fight where Batman has like 2 weeks to prepare... Like
he doesn't even need 2 weeks.
Fight me. He has 2 weeks to prepare.
That's
He
gracious.
could probably match Superman. But in a fight where Superman and Batman are like just existing and then suddenly it's deathmatch, Superman wins because he can supersonic fly straight to Batman and laser him in the face.
My question is, and I feel like you are probably ignoring this fact, is I think you're kind of pegging Batman as being stupid. You don't think that he would have prepared for something like that? Because let's be real here. Let's think for a second. If he let's draw up a scenario. Superman and Batman are on a mission, and during this mission, maybe they fight like Brainioid or whatever his name is that can control somebody.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, he takes control of Superman. All of a sudden. What would Batman do in that scenario during that fight? You really wouldn't think he would have probably thought, oh, I'm probably fighting Brainiac or something. I should probably bring kryptonite in my... he's like, this... or just in general, as soon as he hears about Superman, which he does this in like Batman vs. Superman. I really didn't want to have to quote that movie.
Yeah,
but as soon as he found out Superman's weakness, he gets kryptonite.
Okay.
And then what does he do? He uses kryptonite.
All right.
So, I'm just saying, as soon as Batman knows about his weakness, and as soon as like Batman knows he exists, even though he's friendly, you wouldn't think he wouldn't have a contingency plan in place at all times to prepare in that. I'm just thinking what he probably has is he has a container in his belt of tools.
Yes.
A container that can be opened, and it has a small piece of kryptonite or a kryptonite knife. Because, let's face it, Superman's not the only Kryptonian in the universe.
That's fair. Okay, but I want to say...
You think you wouldn't prepare for other
I want to say
Kryptonians.
very quickly that I'm not discounting Batman. Batman is a superhero. He's a great superhero. He's one of my favorite DC superheroes. But what I am saying is an ultra-powerful, god-tier Kryptonian with laser vision and supersonic flight could destroy that man.
Yes.
Now, I will admit, though, if Superman was fighting with his morals, he has a distinct weakness. Because Batman has no morals, because he's Batman.
He does. He doesn't kill all the time. Yeah, but you watch Batman vs. Superman, and he pretty much just kills everybody. It's like, I think he ends up killing more people.
I did not watch that movie. But, okay, closing statements. I'll say mine, and you can say yours.
Okay.
I would peg Superman to win because just overwhelming strength and speed, and he's not stupid either. So I would say that Superman would win because Batman is a guy in a suit.
I understand your argument, and I think
but you're wrong.
have valid. You're wrong, and you have some valid points. But I feel like that even though he has raw strength, I feel like that with enough knowledge about your enemy, even with hardly much time to realize that, and with kryptonite, I feel like Batman, even if he didn't have kryptonite, would possibly still be able to escape. If not, be able to prepare, even like just evade Superman enough to where he's screwed.
Matthew's on the Batman train.
I am.
I'm on the Superman train. Now you get to go vote. Go to our Twitter account at Crap, what's our Twitter handle? Matthew, help! What's our Twitter handle? I forgot.
What's our Twitter handle?
It's Back from the Grid, I think.
It's
yeah. So go to our Twitter. Well, it'll be on screen if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're not, then it might be in like the description or something. But yeah, it's just Back from the Grid. You just look that up and you'll find us on Twitter. And we're also on Facebook and Twitch, but we're only going to put the poll on Twitter. And we'll link to it in the description of the YouTube video if that's where you're watching this. But we don't know everywhere we're going to upload this just yet.
You'll get to see that sexy graphic I made.
Exactly. But just go to Twitter and you can vote, and then we will tally up the votes. And if you have anything you would like to add in for the argument, you can comment that, or you can email us at backfromthegrid@gmail.com. I am pretty sure that's what it is.
I'm pretty sure. If not, we'll just correct this.
Hold on. I have a cheat sheet here. Hold on.
Nerd.
Yes, it is in fact backfromthegrid@gmail.com. No podcast, just backfromthegrid.
First try.
@gmail.com. And you can email us anything, actually. But if you have another viewpoint of this, or like you're elite comic book
I feel like somebody's
wizard,
gonna leave a comment saying Shazam is better, and then somebody else will be like, "I got you all full feet." Thanos snapped them out of existence.
All right. We will say it's just against Superman and Batman at this point. Although, if you have any suggestions of other verses you would like us to do, social media or email or whatever,
we'll throw them in the trash.
Exactly. No, we'll get to them. But there we go. That's done and did. So good discussion.
It was.
No one died. That's very
good.
It's improved since last time.
I still have nightmares about that.
Oh no, they're coming. Okay, but anyway. So now we get to the part of the podcast where we talk about movies and TV shows. Boy. And today we're talking about Stranger Things season 3. Yes, it's really cool. But we will very clearly denote the time in which we're talking about spoilers. So you can listen to this first half, which is going to be unspoiler free, and we're just going to like review it and give our opinions on it.
Is the fact, why have you not watched this series yet?
Yeah, exactly. Unless you don't have time or money for Netflix, because it keeps getting more expensive.
And don't tell me you guys buy them on DVD, because you don't. Exactly. Nobody does.
Exactly. But Stranger Things is awesome, and we're going to talk about it. So, Matthew, on a scale of 1 to the best show ever, what do you think of Stranger Things season 3? Without spoiling anything.
I will leave that out till the spoiler section.
Yes.
I would say it rivals season 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as
I would say the same. It is very good, but season 1 still takes it for me.
It's better than season 2.
It is so much better than season 2. I didn't really care too much for season 2.
Season 2 was meh.
Yeah, it was okay, but yeah.
The first season was great.
Yes.
Second season was it was okay.
Right. And then third season was
like, oh yeah, this is good. I like this.
Okay, so storyline. What did you think of the plot? Don't say anything about it, but what did you think?
I thought that it was a lot better than season 2. Mm-hmm. It has issues at places. Yeah. The pacing. I feel like some characters don't get... Because I understand there's a lot of characters on the screen.
There's a lot of characters.
And only 8 episodes. That's only 8 hours of a show to show off all these characters and their stories.
Of course, they could have made more episodes if they really wanted to. But
yeah, they've made millions of dollars. They're going to probably make even more money from this show than they have in the past.
I think this might be the last one, but I'm not sure.
No, they're making another one. I'm pretty certain. Why wouldn't you? I know they're saying that. I think
they're ending it soon.
I think they said that they were gonna have 5 seasons at most.
Maybe, but anyway, plot, characters.
I feel like that some characters had hardly any plot development, and some of them were just there for other reasons than just like they were just there to be there.
Now, are you talking about main characters here or side characters?
Side characters.
Okay, I think I know which ones you're kind of hinting at there, and I can.
You can kind of agree.
Kind of, but there is a side character that I thought was very endearing. Very endearing.
Now, what was that one girl?
No, we're not gonna.
I'm not. It's not spoilers.
So let's go. So out of the 8 episodes, was there anything that really stood out to you? Any like broad character development or twist or something that really stood out to you?
That's not spoilerish.
That's not spoilerific.
Oh boy. I thought that the new location Like I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And it definitely brings up a lot of good viewpoints. I liked Hopper and some of the other adult characters.
Yeah, let's not name people's, and that's not really a spoiler, but people might die, maybe, question mark. I'm not saying they do, I'm not saying they don't, so we don't want to like officially denote that they don't. But dude, though, for real, they did an excellent job of being in the time period. That's one of the issues I thought they had with the first two, was that it didn't feel like
felt forced.
Well, no, it didn't feel like the time period where it took. I mean, it did, but there was so much more they could have done. And then this one, they did it. They did it. Unfortunately, the location they did it at is getting tore down.
Woohoo!
And they're not keeping it around. But really good, really good. Okay, so final things for the non-spoiler part. Do you recommend people watch it?
Yes. If you love the first season, if you like the second season,
if you
definitely
like
give it a third.
Suspense but not horror,
yeah, then this would pretty be good. I would totally recommend it.
Great
Totally
character
worth it.
development, great plot, great location. It was shot really well too. I didn't notice as many.
The CGI looked better too.
Yeah, it was done very well, and they actually had a bigger challenge to do this time than last time.
Well, yeah. How do you up yourself from that point?
Yeah, well,
It was
they
kinda
managed
hard.
it.
They managed to do it.
All right, but that's it for the non-spoilers. So anyone who hasn't seen it is free to leave now. Please feel free to go check out our
go watch it now.
Our social medias. We've got Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. I will say with Twitch right now, the username's a little effed up, and it won't let me change it for 2 months. So right now, it's the Back from the Grid because I misspelled it. But in about 2 months, it'll just be Back from the Grid. So just look us up. We'll live stream sometimes. We don't have a schedule right now because we're just getting this rolling. But Facebook is Back from the Grid Podcast, and then Twitter is Back from the Grid. And just look us up. Talk to us. Say hi if you have anything that you would
Please don't leave
like us to cover, or if you had any suggestions, if you wanted to hit us up about the Versus segment, feel free. Matthew, do you have any quick ending comments?
Yeah, just give us a talk to. We'll both be on there talking to you guys.
Yep.
Please don't leave jokes or memes about the Emoji Movie or llamas.
Please leave those everywhere.
Please, I don't want. If I see an emoji meme as a response to a Twitter response or Facebook,
Post an emoji.
I will rage and immediately go on like a Phil Fish level.
All right, let's not be calling people out here on our first podcast. All right, so thank you all so much for listening. The ones who haven't watched season 3 of Stranger Things yet, or don't care to watch it. See you guys. Okay. Now, we're down to the core.
Okay,
the core
now
audience,
I can just...
the people who have seen Stranger Things season 3.
Thank God we got rid of all those
Or
other
you've come
people.
back, and welcome back.
Oh,
all right,
yeah, get ready to get all of the season. You just don't care. You just want to hear us continue.
All right, for real, though, the Mind Flayer.
Oh,
holy crap.
I was so good seeing it
Holy
physically.
crap. I never thought that's how they would do it. I thought they'd have to introduce a new monster.
He's back, and now he's even more terrifying.
But dude, it was so creepy and disgusting.
You think they're all dead? I'm pretty sure they're all dead that got
okay.
hit.
Oh my god, dude, though. The old lady. She was just so adorable.
And then she
died. That was I was like, no, not her. She's the old lady. She's so adorable. Because she was like helping him out, and then she's like, yeah, I just found this rat and I just captured it, like this Death Eater rat, and she's just like, yeah, it's down in the basement.
Yeah, I captured it. It's
I'm
probably got some
of my fertilizer. But she died. That was unfortunate. But dude, okay, for real though, the mall.
The mall. The Russians.
Talk about the mall. Not the Russians yet. Oh. I don't like that part so much.
You don't like that? What? You don't like the Russian side plot?
Talk about the mall first. So what did you think of the mall?
I like the location. I like the idea of it. And I feel like it was a good transition point because during the 80s, you started seeing more of those kind of super malls. And I feel like it did raise some good points of, even though consumers love it, small businesses hated it.
Yeah.
And it was a really good point. I feel like that... I really wish there was more episodes in season 2. I really wish there was more.
I feel like it ended okay. It could have had another episode in there, but I don't think they should have stretched it.
You know what I'm okay with? The fact that they didn't have any episodes where I just felt like I could skip it.
Yeah, they didn't have like a bottle episode really.
I feel like season 2, calling season 2 out. That one episode where Eleven meets like her sister, and so and so.
I haven't seen season 2 in a long time. I'm trying to think. Meets her sister.
Dude. Well, her sister in quotations. Like
right.
the person, there's people there that were also at the government that also was experimented on and had powers.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
That episode I hated. It literally felt like such a, like you're in the middle of something. A character death happened.
Yeah.
At the very end of that previous episode. And then all of a sudden it's like goes left field, goes into this episode that has no correlation to the main plot, so whatever.
Yeah.
And doesn't really do much for Eleven's like motivations or plot development.
Okay, but we're talking about season 3 right now. The Russians.
The Russians.
The dang commies.
Oh, hey, what was his name? The one Russian.
It was crap. I know who you're talking. It's the scientist guy.
The scientist
with the
guy.
glasses. I really enjoyed
I was
character.
so hoping he was gonna live. You know how awesome
I knew as
that
soon as he was walking through the fair with that Woody Woodpecker stuffed animal looking so happy, I knew he was gonna die.
My heart
dropped. I called it.
My heart dropped. I was so sad. You know how awesome it would have been if he survived, and like him and that American guy that was like kind of like that would have been such a good duo. They would have been so good together.
Had the spin-off and everything. Okay, but let me talk a little bit. Let me get all up here in the microphone for you guys here.
Do some ASMR.
I did not like the Russian plot. It just
really?
didn't make sense to me. They somehow build this huge underground complex during like Cold War times, more or less on the rear end of it, but like the United States is on red alert, the Red Army, oh no, communism, it's horrible, keep a lookout, report things, all of it, and they built this huge underground thing, and then they stole ridiculous amounts of power continuously from the power grid, and no one said a thing. And then, not even to mention how long the United States military had to respond. And I get that they didn't want them to come in until the story arc was over, but the ending fight lasted so long that I was just like,
where's the army?
The helicopters would be there by now, okay? They've been throwing fireworks at this thing for 20 minutes. The helicopters would be there, and like, oh, it just now died. Helicopter.
That's
all
such
of
a
the
generic.
army. They were just like waiting to see what happened.
Thing, and then they're like, oh, okay.
It's like, oh, they've done the work for us.
Woo-hoo.
Let's go.
Now we'll come in and claim all the work.
Yeah, but then it didn't make sense to me that they were able to open the door, but they had to force it to stay open because the other door that was opened, like, was growing in size by itself.
Technically, they didn't open it.
Okay.
From what they said.
Well, elaborate.
They,
please.
like, from what I understand is they were trying to open it, and they were kind of, like, they opened it just enough. Like, it's, like, imagine a door.
Yeah.
Like, beforehand, the door was fully opened.
Yeah.
And it was growing out, and the Mind Flayer was able to enter in and release its servants into our world.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like season 3, how they explained it was basically the door was shut but not locked. So they were trying to unlock it, and they unlocked it, but they didn't open it. They kind of had it cracked open.
Okay.
So there was enough to let the Mind Flayer kind of in. That's why you never saw any Demigorgons, I feel like.
Wait. Did you not see the ending credit scene?
Yeah, but that was like let's talk about that a second.
Yeah.
In the main
we'll come
plot,
back to that.
There's a reason why I think that thing is. So when the door was just cracked, which is why the Mind Flayer was like, no, I feel like the Mind Flayer would have done way more in Hawkins if it was fully open. Because in season 2, when the portal was open to the Upside Down, there was a lot of things. I feel like the Flare was like, oh, well, it's kind of open, but just enough to where I can cause enough chaos to hopefully just open it the rest of the way and enter.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It stuck out to me as a pretty big plot hole. But overall, it's amazing. And I loved so much the Susie plot line.
Susie.
Oh crap! What's the kid's
Child endangerment.
Okay, so she really irritated me for like most of that, but then she got better at the very end.
I loved her character.
Yeah, but what's his name? Guy with the hat and the overalls, and then he came back from summer camp.
Dusty Pooh.
That one.
Or like that's what Lucy.
That was great.
Never-ending story.
Okay, I feel like they sang that for too long. I would have. I mean, okay, I get it. It was good, but I feel like it could have ended sooner than it did. Like having Hopkins just, we're all gonna die. Just give the code or whatever.
Code.
But it was alright. But I loved that Susie plotline, like the whole time. Oh yeah, she's fake. She's fake.
And then in the very last episode,
there she
she's
is.
real.
I thought that was really great. I also did enjoy, oh crap, what's his name? Harrington, big hair.
Big hair.
I think it's Harrington. Isn't that his name?
I don't think that is.
The guy who works with this, he's at the sailor outfit. They get drugged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That's not him. Snake.
Okay, well, I did enjoy where they were working at. And that whole
Ahoy!
And I thought it was really cool there at the end, because you don't see that a lot in movies when one of your protagonists tries to create a romantic connection and they get rebuffed. You don't see, like, they showed a perfect, and I'm gonna get a little bit social justice warrior-y here, but whatever. They showed a perfect way for, like, if you were to, I need good words for this, like, because he was trying to, like, he finally found that he was attracted to Lady, but she was obsessed about him because he was looked at by the one that she was obsessed about. And
that was a good plot twist.
Well, the scene where they were sitting there and they just got quieter and quieter because they were both realizing, like, oh, he likes me like that. Well, that's not how I like him. And then he was like, oh, she doesn't like me like that. And they got quieter and quieter. And then they were friends. Like, and they were laughing and they were so happy. I thought that was pretty cool how they did that, because a lot of times you don't see that in movies. Like, he either gets the girl or, you know, she's a horrible person and they go their separate ways.
Yeah, it's
so
like
I thought
a very
that was
good
cool.
in between. It's
I
like
wanted
a
to
very
mention
good,
that
humane kind of like conversation, like something you'd actually see in real life.
Yeah, I really appreciated how they did that. But anyway,
beautiful execution.
So overall, 10 out of 10. Would watch again.
I do want to say one thing.
Yes.
At the very tail end of this.
Okay.
And it's speculation almost.
Go for it.
Right,
Demogorgon.
Yeah, because I want to get back to...
Yes. What do you think's going to happen with the Demogorgon that showed up at the very end?
I want to speculate, because if you see that end credit scene, that was taken in Russia, which the reason why they went to America and did that to begin with, even though it was super difficult to do and it had very little possibility of actually working, they still tried it because
they had the machine, but they didn't have the doorway.
They had to, which makes me believe they found a way to open the door anywhere. Like, because if you look at the end credit scene, you see that scene is taking place in Russia. And the Demogorgon's there, which means not only were they finally able to open a door, that wasn't... and it also wasn't in Hopkins.
Okay, but here's my thoughts. Here's my speculation. I see where you're going with that, but I think you're wrong. And here's why. I think the Demogorgon at the very end was Fluffy from the first season. That's not his name. But the one that... I can't ever remember that kid. Dustin. The one that Dustin raised and actually made like a...
Yeah, but it turned into a dog thing. And I thought they killed it.
No, he didn't kill it. It ran off, didn't it?
No.
I don't know. I haven't seen the first season in a long time. I thought it was that one.
The one that's like this frog-looking thing, the lizard.
Yeah, because he grew into like a full Demogorgon.
No, he didn't turn into a Demogorgon. He turned into one of those Demogorgon dogs.
Well, yeah, they turn into the dogs, and then they turn into the full Demogorgon.
No.
Yes.
Season 2 didn't even have like a full-fledged Demogorgon from season 1. So, like, if you've seen 2, you only saw the dogs.
All of them. Okay. Well, either way, that's what I thought it was. But maybe they have opened a door. Maybe it's remnants from Hawkins. Maybe like the last Russians who were leaving took that one with them or something. I don't know. To
experiment.
Maybe. Possibly. But so that's an hour. That's like on the long end of how long we wanted this to go. So that was our first podcast, our first episode. So thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Like we said a little bit earlier before the spoiler section, feel free to check us out on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. It's on screen if you're watching this on YouTube, and Twitter is Back from the Grid. Facebook is Back from the Grid Podcast, and Twitch right now is the Back from the Grid, but it will change here in a couple months. So if you're listening to this in a couple months, then just look up Back from the Grid and you should find us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I've got. Matthew, do you have anything to say before we sign off?
Nope, that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Feel free to tune in for the next exciting episode of the Back from the Grid podcast.
All right, I'm going to the restroom.
Yeah, I need to as well.